Good morning and welcome back to Miniature Monday on Gaming with ADHD. Now, as you can see today, we are going to take a look at the new Infinity Code 1 starter set, Operation Crimson Stone. This was part of the pre-order bundle available from Corvus Belli earlier this month, and it was just delivered. So we're going to take a look at what we get inside. I'm going to focus for the box set mostly on the terrain and the rulebook, everything else that comes with it. I will try to get you some good close-ups of the miniatures. I know Corvus Belli has already launched some of those as well, but I'll give you my thoughts, my opinions on what I think we get out of these boxes. Now, I'll also be taking a look at the Dire Foes set that came with it, and the Dragon Lady HVT. So, let's get started. But before we do, go ahead and like the video or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I'll be doing some reviews here soon. My son is getting home after a couple of years, and we're going to learn how to play this in a couple of weeks. So, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can catch those reviews of, from him and I. So, this is our Operation Crimson Stone starter set. It comes with the Wolfgang Amadeus Wolf, special edition exclusive model. And it contains models for the Ariadna and Nomad factions. You get 7 of each model, plus terrain, tokens, etc. So, obviously, that's just the back of the box. You want to see the details, so let's take a look at it. Now, do bear with me. Technically, this is my second time unboxing it. I was dumb and messed up the video. So, alright, so the first thing that we've got here is an ad for Infinity Tag Raid. Now, that is their new game that they're launching on Kickstarter this fall. If you've been following their YouTube channel, they have given some information about it. Basically, it is big stompy robots in a mining colony, just wailing away at each other. And I came into Infinity because of its big stompy robots, so I am pretty excited for this game. And we'll see what they do with the Kickstarter. But this is, just an ad, and, this side's in Spanish. Okay? All right. We then have our introductory rulebook. So, this is in the larger A4 or European size pages. Full color, they're going to give you some... obviously, we've got credits for the game, a little bit of background on Infinity. As always, they've got great art on all of their stuff. Now, Crimson Stone takes place on Halak Station, which is on an asteroid for a Tesium mine. So Tesium is a unique metal within the Infinity universe. And so, Ariadna, who is known for, basically controlling that, wants to, limit the Nomad access to a lot of Tesium, which is going to upset the market. Anyways, that's the story. I'm a big fan of story hooks. Why am I playing this game? So, I think that's kind of cool. For the Nomads, they're going to kind of focus on Corregidor, which is one of the sectorials. But for Code 1, there are no sectorial armies. It's just the Nomads. We then also have Cosmoflot from Ariadna. So we've got more information on the story. We then get details of all the models. So, Ariadna, if you are unfamiliar with the Infinity Universe, was basically the first human colony outside of Earth. And so it was actually colonized by French, British, Americans, and Russians. So you actually get a nice mix. Like that is actually one of the Russian guys, one of the French. I've turned off autofocus on a new camera, so bear with me as I try to make things look right. But definitely seems to focus a little better. We've got the Rocotte Volunteers. These are going to be your core troopers. And the Zenit 7 detachment. They then give some ideas for different color palettes. One thing I liked about this is recently on one of the Infinity forums that I follow, somebody was just asking, if they could paint things differently, or if they had to follow the color schemes that are on the box. And obviously, if you're a longtime miniatures gamer, you can paint it however you want. But I do like that they, especially for new players, they're like, here's some other ideas to try. Here's some other ways to paint. All right, for the Nomads, we've got the Sombras, the Hellcats, Intruders, the Evader, and for their core troops, we have the Alguaciles. We then get other alternative color patterns for them. All right, they then give 5 different missions to teach you how to play the game. I do like how they set these up. Basically, they're going to start with 1 model per side and slowly build up. They're going to give you just the bare minimum rules that you need for these basic figures. And then as you move forward, they're going to give you additional weapons, additional equipment, additional rules such as climbing up a building. Here's your scenario setup. Then we're going to move into the next mission. This one is actually going to add in the lieutenants. It's going to... it added in the lieutenants. For mission 3, we get more special rules such as this book is a little large. Such as the camouflage rules. That is a big thing in Infinity, is being able to set up your models ahead of time. The multispectral visor, basically ways to get around camouflage. Let's see. All right. Mission 4 is going to add more. It's going to add the silhouette templates. That's one thing I do like that Infinity did, was add in the silhouette templates so that they can still do dynamically posed models, but you don't have to worry about, is the gun sticking around the corner. It doesn't matter if the actual silhouette isn't sticking around the corner. So, I think that does make it a little fair, but you then also have to, make sure you have the appropriate templates so that you know whether or not your character can be seen. So then they go into, recommendations for expanding your Crimson Stone collection. So we've got like William Wallace for Ariadna, more Cosmo Soldats, and the Scots Guards. And then for the Nomads, we've got the Tomcats, the Wildcats, and the Vostok Sputniks. We've then got profiles for all of those models. Even the new ones. I'm not sure, because they just announced it, so I don't have all the details, but I believe these might actually be the models that are coming in the Beyond Crimson Stone box set. So that's the one that'll expand this set up to 10 full models per side. So we've then got, you know, some instructions on how to assemble your models, a basic painting guide, and then a little bit of, you know, what is available for all of the different factions in Infinity Code 1. Now, don't forget, Infinity Code 1 is a slimmed down version of the Infinity N4 rule set. So it isn't a game in its own right, but it's not going to have a lot of the features that you get out of N4. So, but it's designed to help you learn the game and, you know, get to the point where you want to play N4. All right. We've got bases. One thing I think is interesting on this one is all of the figures are on 25 millimeter bases, or, you know, 1-inch bases. Typically, they've given, you know, 1 or 2 models on larger bases, but they didn't do that this time. So I was a little surprised by that, but that's fine. You know, it's still, you know, good core troops, you know, core units that you would find in these factions. Here's our Nomad dice, complete with faction symbol. They actually got that really clear, really crisp. They're not quite as fancy as the Q Workshop dice, but I'll take it. I actually have a big bag of all of the Infinity dice that I have collected over the years because I keep buying these starter sets. And then we've got our Ariadne dice. So, again, nice, clear logo on that one. Alright, now I'm just going to look at a couple of the miniatures because pewter does not show up on the camera so great. But like this one, we've got Wolfgang Amadeus Wolf. I know on the Infinity site they do have, you know, some close-ups of all of these, and they're all painted fantastically. So they are definitely better than my paint jobs, but we'll go with it. All right, so they've got some good detail on the face. Just trying to focus the camera. All right, so he seems sort of like a very aggressive werewolfy kind of guy. Looks like a little bit of a jump pack on his back. So we've got the body, the legs, and his Wolverine arm. Yes, I realize it's not Wolverine, but come on, he's got claws on his hand. So, in Code 1, Wolfgang is essentially a neutral character. He can play for either the Nomads or Ariadne. Alright, we've got one of our... Basically, they are a jump troop. I really like this guy. Got one arm outstretched. One arm tucked in with a submachine gun. Oop. Boosting off of this terminal. And then we've got our jump pack. So overall, I really like Infinity models. They are not cheap. These sets were not or this set was not inexpensive. It's still a good starting point, and obviously you can dive into it as much as you want. But luckily, you really technically a game of Code 1 maxes out at 10 models. For N4, it would max out at about 15 models. So, overall, you literally are playing small armies. Now, let's be honest, we're all nerds, and so we're going to keep buying models anyways, but, the game is designed to play at smaller model counts. So, definitely offsets the cost there. All right. Overall, I'm not going to complain about the miniatures. I always think they're great. So there's a little bit of a sampling of some of the miniatures that you get inside. All right. So now I'm going to take a look at the Halak Station Scenery Pack. Now, I will link down below to the review that I did for the Operation Wildfire and Operation Kaldstrom scenery packs. This is literally the same cutouts for the building. So all we're going to see here is just some new art for the buildings. But, I'll link down to the other video so that way you can actually see what the buildings look like assembled. I do have a few criticisms of these buildings. They look like they should assemble very easily. In some cases, they don't. They start out going together very well, but when they finish, it's a lot harder. You have to really press some pieces in. Some pieces will have to go in against a piece that's already locked in place. So I wish they had given better instructions. I'll show it here in a minute, but if you look on the inside of this cover, it just shows you where the parts go, not what's the preferred order to build it, anything like that. So I still like the terrain. I think it's very durable. It's very useful, but I really don't like the assembly very much. It has a tendency to do a little bit of damage to the building while you're trying to assemble it. So anyways, the first thing is the playmat. So this is about, it says on the back, it is 24 by 32 inches. So about 2 foot by 3 foot. Not a huge playing area, but also not very small either. I do like the detail that they put on this. They've got these caution labels, the doors. If you've watched any of my previous videos, my work area is a little small, so I can't really pull this all the way out, but I will get it to a point where you can at least see a lot of the detail. But I really do like what they do with these. I am a little disappointed. A lot of the other playmats had posters on the reverse, and I'm a little bummed that they didn't do that on this one. I don't really have a place to put the posters, but it would still be nice. They do cool art. So, lots of good detail on this. Flip this around so you can see. I don't know exactly what this area is supposed to be, but I do like the amount of detail that they put in it. I like how the colors all around the ring pop. And it really just does fit the whole theme of this terrain set. So that is one thing that I will say about this terrain set over the Wildfire and the Kaldstrom terrain sets, is that I think the color palette is a bit more consistent. On On the other two, it seems like they were doing two different color profiles, and depending on the way that you built the building would be which one you see. And this one, it's still double-sided, so you can get a little bit of variation, especially if you buy an extra set of this, if they release it separately, which I do hope they do. If they, they in this particular set, they were a bit more consistent, in my opinion, with the coloring, and it's a lot of grays, a lot of reds, and it just looks it looks really good. I'm actually a big fan of this particular color palette. So to start with, let's look at some of the detail that we've got. So we've got some of our barricades here. These are staircases. Feet for the barricades to stand up. Walls of the buildings. Now you're going to get 2 large buildings and 2 small buildings. Each of the 4 buildings has a staircase and a rooftop that models can stand on. So they give you a lot of play surface, which I think is great. I like how they put all of these little details. Space docks level, fungi farms. Just the life support system 2. Looks like fire alarms or emergency kits, danger electrical panel, whatever. So, but lots of little details. They in all of these terrain sets, they actually pay really close attention to these little details and make them look like useful buildings. They put sometimes they'll put wear on it, sometimes they will just add little details. Like here, the Tristerion pickup point with this horn, the Mines Corp logo, the hollow boards. So these are all great. All right, we then get a sheet of tokens and templates. So this is one of the silhouette templates that I was talking about. So this is for a size 5 model. Unfortunately, the models do not have, you just have to know what the size of it is and then know what template you have to get. So that I wish it was a little easier, but it's already written into the trooper profile, so it's not hard to find. But then we've got our camo tokens, our order tokens, token for Wolfgang, consoles, supplies, antenna. So the consoles and the antennas, those are for different scenario types. Infinity is a very scenario heavy game, which is good when you're playing with smaller models. Having more defined objectives than beat up the other guy is much better. So we've got different hollow boards here. Actually, I think these are consoles. More building pieces. We then got the flip side. So, but lots of just great art. All right, I'm going to start going a little quicker. Mostly because a lot of the details are repeating. Still looks good, but does repeat. We've got the remainder of our templates and our tokens. Small flame template, large flame template, silhouettes, rulers, more tokens. Same on this side. And we've got the last one. So these are the roofs for the large buildings. One thing that is nice about these, the large and small buildings, you can stack the small buildings on top of the large buildings. So you do get that out of it. All right, that is the Halak Station Scenery Pack. Again, I like the art. I like the buildings as they are constructed. I just wish they had, made them a little easier to assemble. All right, so these will go really quick. We've got the Xanadu Rush Dire Foes Mission Pack. If you are not familiar, the Dire Foes kits give you 2 models, one for each faction. They will mix up the factions. I think they've got about 15 of these now. So you get 2 faction models. In this case, you get 3. It's Billy or Jazz and Billy. Billy is a bot that accompanies Jazz, and then you've got Caden for Ariadna, and then you have the Lab Technician HVT. HVTs are neutral models. They don't do anything. They sit on the table, and they are basically objective points. So you have to find the HVT and use a medic on them, or capture them and get them off the board. There's all sorts of different things that you do with HVTs. And so normally what they've done in the past is, like, your bonus model would be we'll call it a playable model, one that you actually, move, shoot, do all that kind of stuff with. This time the bonus model is another HVT. So the whole set together gives you 8 models for each faction, 9 if you include the bot. It gives you 1 neutral model that can be used for either faction, and then it gives you 2 HVT targets. So technically, this is playable in N4 right now for 2 armies, although, again, it is designed for playing the Code 1 or learning scenario. But that is also another good thing about Code 1, is it's, everything that they make for it is compatible. So it's not like you're going to have to buy a new game or new models if you go up to N4. All right, so this is Billy. She comes in 3 parts. The body, the left arm, which just sits on her hip, and the submachine gun over here. So lots of flash, obviously, but they are models. This one's a little harder to see. Let me focus the camera. But she does have a nicely detailed face, as you can see there. A little hard because of the pewter, but not bad at all. We then have our lab tech, who comes in 2 parts. We have the main model. Again, you can see that great face. That is one advantage of metal models, is you get some much better detail than you do on plastic. Corvus Belli just announced that they are doing their a plastic type model for some of the larger models. I'm really curious to see those and see how well the detail holds up. All right, and we've got Billy. Billy looks to be some sort of bat, cat, robot thing. But lots of good little details on that. I do like all the little, side bots, the medic bots or engineer bots, and they always talk about the anime stylings in Infinity, and I definitely see that in the bots that they produce. All right, then we've got Aiden, kind of a furry faced dude, a little beefy. He's got 2 knives. So overall, good figures. So that is the Dire Foes box. And then finally, the Dragon Lady. All right. So she actually comes in quite a few pieces. This I was kind of surprised about. So we start with basically her body up to her neck. If you notice, it looks a little funny because we've got these pieces. So this sits on either of her legs and is the side of the dress. Then we've got her face and the lantern plus her hair. And then we've got her arm and her pig. I don't know why she's carrying a pig, but there it is. So, this I thought was kind of interesting that they went with the Dragon Lady HVT, which I would typically associate with Yu Qing. And there is no Yu Qing in this release. So that was in Operation Caldstrom. So this is Operation Crimson Stone. It'll be coming to retailers here in a couple of weeks. Like I said, I just got mine yesterday. And, or no, I didn't get it yesterday. I got it Friday. And the retailers should be getting it here shortly. Obviously depends on distribution. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you liked seeing what you're going to get inside. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. If you have not yet, I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to the channel. My son is coming home in a couple of weeks, and we are going to sit down and learn how to play this. Nomads is his favorite faction, but he's been gone for a couple of years, so he hasn't gotten to play anything for N4, and with everything going on, I haven't played anything for N4 either. So, anyways, let me know what you think. Also, nope, never mind. I'll mention that later. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.